I don't know if it's me, but rap music has been sounding really bad recently. So I wanted to do a comparison between 2016 to 2020 rap and 2020 to 2024 rap. Yo, what guys, it's Bryn, and let's compare music from today to before to see which era was better. Quick disclaimer, this video will only have hip hop because it's really the type of music I listen to and can give a better opinion on that type of music than other music from these two areas. To start off, I wanted to first go off the ratings from critics and then go off how the music was actually accepted by fans. Also note, the only exception I included for 2016 to 2020 was Blonde, because I felt that Frank Ocean has a lot of relationships with the hip hop world, so I felt it was good to include him. Let's start off by seeing the top 3 albums from each era based on the critics' ratings. The top 3 albums from 2016 to 2020 are Damn by Kendrick Lamar, Igor by Tyler the Creator, and Blonde by Frank Ocean. The top 3 albums from 2020 to 2024 are Call Me If You Get Lost by Tyler the Creator, Utopia by Travis Scott, and Mr. Morale and the Big Steppers by Kendrick Lamar. Now, I genuinely think that there is an argument when you're just comparing their peaks mainly based off the ratings from critics. And what I mean by comparing the peaks is you're comparing the best albums to the best albums. But I think when it comes to the albums that were not that well received among critics, it's really not a close debate at all. And genuinely, I think 2016 to 2020 dominates 2020 to 2024. Some really big albums from that era of 2016 to 2020 that were very well received by fans are Self-Titled by Playboi Carti, Lil Uzi vs. The World, Harder Than Ever by Lil Baby, Question Mark by X, and it keeps going on forever and ever. Some big hitters from 2020 to 2024 are Whole Lotta Red by Playboi Carti, My Turn by Lil Baby, Eternal A Take by Lil Uzi, Shoot for the Stars, Aim for the Moon by Pop Smoke, and many more. Now, it's not really clear which era's music was received better in their time frame, because I would say it's not very fair to compare music from 4 years ago and look back on it and then see how well it's received compared to when we view music today to see how well it's received now. There's not really enough time for the music to mature and for people to understand it. Look at Whole Lotta Red, for example. When it first came out, a lot of people thought it was trash, but look how well it's aged now. So imagine what will happen in 4 more years, right? But I will say the one album that is a really big surprise is probably My Turn by Lil Baby. And this album is honestly a hood anthem, but above that, it's genuinely had some of the best music I've heard in a very long time. The song We Paid, at first I thought it was trash, but listening to it a few more times, I thought it was beautiful. And I think overall the production on the album is probably one of the better albums I've ever heard. In my opinion, I'll probably have to give the edge to 2016 to 2020 because it's the birthplace of Playboi Carti. Now, I think 2016 to 2020 is still better, all jokes aside, but this opinion is not really based off music. I think the music that's released in that era is just so influential, and without it, we wouldn't have the new artists today. And that's what really gives them the edge here. A really good example of this would be Opium, right? I think if Playboi Carti never did what he did during that era, I genuinely don't think we would see people like Ken Carson, Destroy Lonely, Osama's Son, and honestly, Yeat. I don't think Yeat would really exist without people like Playboi Carti and Young Thug. Now, I think that as time passes, you're more likely to listen to the good music that came out recently than the good songs that came out many years ago. And what I mean by that is like when you're not listening to the best music in your opinion, just the good songs, you're probably going to pick the more recent ones, right? But when it comes to the best music, I'm talking like Peak of the Mountain type shit, you're going to pick the music you'd like no matter how old it is. All in all, I think that music has taken a step back compared to what it was before, but this doesn't mean it cannot get better. The future is really dull right now, but all that's really needed is another generational artist to appear. And I know that's kind of a crazy request, but it's happened. Look at Juice WRLD. Juice WRLD came out of nowhere and he took over the world. And I think it's completely possible for another Juice WRLD to kind of lift up and inspire other artists to go harder. But whether or not we'll have that in the next few years is hard to say. I will say that the future is looking a bit more bright with the release of A Great Chaos Deluxe and some of Osama Sun's work, as well as Ian. Although I don't really listen to Ian like that, I still think that what he's doing for the culture is good. So rather than hating, why not cheer them on? give them a few more years, they'll find their sound, and I'm sure we'll have some better music on the way. Outside of that, I want to hear what you guys would think. Because honestly, 2016 to 2020 was a crazy year for music, but you could also argue that the years before were even crazier because the 2010s were probably the best age for music. But I don't know. I'm just a music fan, and I'd love to hear what you guys have to say. Peace out, and I hope to see you guys soon.